I started my morning with a beautiful view of an eastern cottontail rabbit right under some nice cedar trees, and I got to observe it for a short while before it ran further into the underbrush. But up next was a red-winged blackbird which had arrived not too long ago into the area, and it was filling the morning air with its beautiful tune, as I'll let you hear right now. I'm always amazed by watching birds in the early morning, especially just after they've migrated here, as you can often see displays and hear their beautiful calls. The shot here isn't the greatest just because of, well, it's against the sky, which is very bright, and so you can more or less just make out the shape of the bird, but they're just gorgeous, and they're always a sign of that spring's come. However, favorite bird of mine is the great blue heron, so I'm waiting in anticipation till they come back to my area. Here we have another red-winged blackbird, also delighting us this morning with its beautiful calls. And here's just a bit of a closer up shot of it. There were a bunch of them. They had just arrived, they got there probably a week ago. And they're still filling the air with their beautiful call. And here we have some common Americander ducks just going for a little swim, and then they hit the rapids. Don't worry, they made it out all right. It was great to see them this morning. They're not the most common in my area, so they were a welcome sight in the early hours of the day. And up here, we just have a common mallard. But I just thought I'd film her get nice and low on the ground because, well, I barely ever see them on land, and I thought that she was giving some interesting looks, and I thought that she looked quite good, especially with the brush right beside her in the foreground. I thought just you can really see how well they blend into the brush this early in the season, as nothing has greened up yet. Well, I mean, you can obviously see how early it is in the year based on the snow. But she was very alert that morning. I was quite a distance away. I was shooting with quite a long lens for this shot. But I just think it's always interesting to observe animals in their wild habitat, just doing their thing. And I was glad, even though it's a common duck, but still, glad to see it. And up here, probably my favorite bird of the day that I saw, was a hairy woodpecker. I had been trying to find it all day long. I kept hearing it, and finally I was able to find it, and right when I did, this gorgeous light hit it, as you can see here. The sun's finally starting to come up behind the clouds. Got some nice golden hour, and got to hear it, well, doing what it does. And here we have a mallard, just acting kind of doing whatever it wants to do. I at first got excited because I thought some kingfishers in the area with all the splashing, because they normally arrive back here at this time, so I was hopeful that I'd get to see some kingfisher action. But no luck today, but always glad to observe wild animals behaving in their natural environment, regardless of if they're a particularly common species or not. Two males and a female, which is kind of interesting because this is the only group I saw of more than one male and one female. They must be pairing up to breed around now. And here we have the male that was making all the commotion, though he has now been abandoned by the couple. Always sucks to be a third wheel, especially when they leave you all to your lonesome. But that is the life of the duck, I suppose. Doing a bit of grooming. Gotta make sure he looks to the nines if he's gonna find himself a little lady friend. Always interesting to watch animals preen themselves, as you just get to see. I just enjoy watching animals in their wilds, honestly. And here we have a red-winged blackbird, just perched atop a conifer, giving us a little display and a little song. Always great. I always love to hear their call. And look what we found again, an eastern cottontail rabbit. It did not mind me being near it whatsoever. I actually came damn right near me for a large section, for a good half of an hour, honestly. I had to actually change lenses because my lens is too long, funnily enough. And here we have it, it's just kind of sorting through the brush, looking for something to eat. And I was just ecstatic with this because, well, as I've mentioned already, it's the privilege whenever you get to see an animal in its wild habitat. I just love seeing how they behave. I could watch them for hours, honestly. And sometimes I do. Long lens or a set of binoculars, you can have a great day out in the wild. This is actually where I had to change my lens. I was shooting this on an 85mm now on a crop sensor. But I just could not get wide enough, honestly. Yeah, zoomed out, it's a zoom lens, it's not a prime, unfortunately. But yeah, gorgeous animal. I know they're rather common, but I just think anytime you get to observe an animal in their wild habitat, foraging or doing mating behaviors, is just spectacular. It's something that I really miss when I'm in an urban environment because, well, I say I like watching all animals in their wild environment, but pigeons, I'm going to be honest, not the most exciting. But a little bunny rabbit? Oh, that'll get me going 100% of the time. Doing my best to track it here. Don't have the best tripod, so I apologize that the motions aren't exactly smooth, but I did my best. Hope to be getting a new one in the next couple months. Yeah. Gorgeous, gorgeous animal. This is the closest I've been able to get to a rabbit before without it darting off. And I'm glad it didn't, because the last thing I ever want to do is scare away a wild animal, because that's just absolutely defeats the purpose of observing them, because they're not going to act natural if they aren't comfortable around you. Now here, we have a fox den. I did my best to stay as far as possible away from it. I was probably a good 50 meters away here. This is now actually the evening of the same day. A lot of snow had melted, the sun was out for a large portion of the day. And I was just sat there waiting, hoping that something would come out of the den. I know it's active, I've seen fresh dirt around the den. There's multiple entrances, however, so they may have gone through a different entrance. But yeah, I was just sat there for probably 3 hours, hoping that I could spot a fox, and really hoping that they'd given birth to their kits by now, and that I'd be able to see them playing. This particular family has made it here and reared kits for the last 3 years consecutively, so I feel very confident that I'll be able to find them again. But while I was doing that, this gorgeous red-tailed hawk flew right up to me, probably about 4 meters away from me. It did not seem to care that I was there, and I was so excited. It made my night. I just saw a large bird flying straight towards me. I thought I was going to get attacked, quite honestly, but it just flew up, landed on its little perch, and is surveying the area for probably the same prey that the foxes do, honestly. Oh, this is the closest I've ever been able to get to a bird of prey, and I've honestly been trying to photograph hawks for the last year, and I have not had any luck whatsoever. And when this happened, I was left speechless. I was so surprised that this gorgeous animal came up to me that close, and seemingly did not care that I was there. It was just looking for prey. It was a gorgeous sight, and I hope you guys agree with me. I'm so in love with these animals. Birds are just fascinating. I'm always amazed that they can fly. I understand how they do it, it's just amazing to me. And here we are. Same spot. The hawk had flown up to me while I was trying to observe the foxes, so I just re-angled my camera and got some footage of that hawk, and still hoping that the foxes would appear, but at this point the sun had set, light was fading quickly, and I was really at the limits of my camera, and I wasn't going to get the shot that night. So I'm probably going to go back and try and find them in about a week or two, but if they notice me at all, I'm just going to pack up and leave, because the last thing I want to do is disturb them, especially while they're rearing kids. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed this video, especially considering what's going on right now, so I hope you can enjoy this little dose of wildlife in your day. Alright, join me for the next one. See ya!